Hello, Laurie Starkey back here again. I have another recipe video for you guys today that I'm super excited about. I'm gonna be making my chicken with bacon, mushrooms, and cheese on it. So when we go to Outback restaurant, my mom's favorite thing to get is Alice Springs chicken, which is very close to what my recipe is today, except it has honey mustard on it. You guys know on the keto diet, not really having honey mustard. And I'm sure I could find a keto version, which has been the cool thing about this diet, is that everything I love, I can find or make myself in a keto style. But this chicken with bacon and mushrooms and cheese, I've been making for forever. Jacob and I have been married 15, 16 years. He's somewhere back there. Oh, here he comes.
17, hello?
No, we've been together 17. We have not been married 17 years.
17 years.
2004. Anyways, we've been together a really long time and I've been making this dish just as long as you guys see him still back there.
Is this what happens after 16 years? Is you're in marriage jail, hell.
Anyways, so I'm super excited for you to check this out. It's delicious. It's really simple to make. And if you had leftover chicken from a barbecue chicken or from a grilled chicken you did for the day before, you could totally just make the topping and put it on there. But I do make it from scratch for you to see. And then one of our very favorite appetizers to get at any restaurant, or a side dish, early salad, before the meal to have, is a caprese salad where you have mozzarella and tomatoes. Usually you put basil with it. I don't do that too often. Jacob, my husband, loves basil, but I'm not really big on it. So I made that for you as well this week, so you can check that out. But give it a look, and if you have another iteration of how to make that chicken with some other different toppings, just know to put that in the comments below. Let me finish my thought, right? As if ever. Put that in the comments below. But just know that you could totally switch out everything that I put on top of the bacon, on top of the chicken, obviously. But one of the easiest things to do would be to change out the cheese if you wanted a different meal. You could put pepper jack, or you could put mozzarella. But you could just play around with it and figure out what is your favorite mix of the chicken, bacon, mushroom, cheese dish. So enjoy it. I hope you love it. Guys, up first is cheese, bacon, and mushroom chicken. This is kind of like that Alice Springs chicken at Outback I was talking about. So you're going to need bacon, mushrooms, shredded cheese, chicken breast or chicken strips, whatever is easier for you to get to. I use some garlic salt, but you could also use just regular salt. That Wright's bacon I get at Kroger's. It's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is super, super, super tasty. So Jacob gets it every time they have it. And again, like I said, it's a little more expensive. So it's an every once in a while treat, but it works really well in the oven. If you've never done your bacon in the oven, you need to give that a whirl. So I did use 2 medium-sized frying pans here instead of 1 large pan, which you could totally just use 1 large pan. I think in my recipe on my website, I just have 1 large pan so you don't have as much cleanup. But I wanted to get the bacon grease for my chicken and for my mushrooms, so I thought, I'll just take these 4 slices of bacon, and you saw I cut them in half, and I'll cook them in both pans, and that way I can have a lot of bacon grease for both cooking my mushrooms and cooking my chicken. So I've got baby portobello mushrooms here. I probably used about 1.5 cups sliced. That's probably about 12 to 15 actual mushrooms, and I cut them in half, and then I put the flat side down and then chop it the rest of the way. That way the mushroom's not rolling everywhere. If you ever need a technique on how to cut a mushroom without having it roll everywhere, almost cut your fingers, that's what I do. I cut it in half, flat side down, and then slice it up. So I'm just finishing frying up this bacon. I always put it on a paper towel. That comes from my childhood. My mom taught me to do that, and just to catch the extra grease. But as you can see, I was careful to leave most of the bacon grease in here for my mushrooms. Now they're gonna sweat out pretty good like they always do. Mushrooms contain a ton of water. So you just let them cook past the water phase. Like you'll see them get real watery and think, oh my God, I did this wrong. If you've never cooked mushrooms, if you have, you totally know what I'm talking about. And then let them get real nice and crispy. They will caramelize after the water's out. As you saw here, I flipped my board over. I always like using both sides. Both sides are super clean, so I just flip it over. I have chicken tenders. I probably have about 8 chicken tenders. There's 3 of us that are going to eat. So depending on how many you have in your family, you could have used chicken breasts. I just cut them in bite-sized pieces. Makes things a lot easier. I'm just taking out that tendon right there. since that thing is nice and chewy and super gross. But you could do this with pork chops, and you could also, I think I mentioned, you could also do this with already cooked chicken, right? So if you had chicken from the night before left over and you had just done garlic salt on it, or a pork chop that you had smoked, or you could make this topping, the mushroom bacon cheese topping, and put that on meat from the night before or 2 nights before, and now you have a great leftover that you completely just reinvented. So again, these are at their sweating point. I'll add some garlic salt here in just a few minutes. You could have added regular salt to help them sweat a little bit more. Totally up to you. Yep, here I go. Man, I must have seen this video before or something like that, right? Okay, so my chicken ends up probably at about half a cup of chicken, or 3 to 3.5 ounces for each of us once it's all said and done. Putting that in the other pan of bacon grease. You could have used butter if you didn't have bacon grease available, or if you didn't want the bacon as part of your meal. You could have totally used butter or some sort of cooking oil of your choice to cook everything. I am going to add some garlic salt to the chicken. That Laurie's garlic salt is my go-to. You can buy it at Sam's in a huge container, and then get a small one like that at your Kroger's or your local grocery store. And I just keep filling it up. I like that smaller one to use. But you could go nuts on the spices. I mean, you could make this a little bit more Italian and use some basil and parsley, or you could have made it, you know, a little bit more Mexican, or however you want to do it. So just have fun with it on the flavor of your chicken. On my bacon, I took this is 4 full pieces and 8 pieces in half. I cut it up. See my cutting board. Hello, Laurie. It's early in the morning. My cutting board's moving. You could have put a paper towel or a kitchen towel under that, and it would have stopped that. I thought about it about halfway. If you saw me pause, I was thinking I should totally get a kitchen towel before I end up cutting my finger open because of this bacon, but it all worked out. Okay, I'm kind of just cutting these pieces into smaller bite size, but if you want to know if your chicken's done, take the fattest piece in the pan and cut it in half. If it's not pink anymore, you're good to go. If it's a chicken breast and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if this is done, you need to just cut it in half or cut into it and make sure that there's no more pink. I have my Mexi cheese over there. That's the blend I love the most, that Mexi cheddar cheese. You could use any you wanted to. You could use pepper jack or Swiss or provolone. You could use shredded, or you could put a little slice of cheese on top of this too, guys, however you want to do that. But I did, like I said, that's probably like 3.5 to 4 ounces of chicken. And then I did about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of shredded cheese, 1/4 of a cup. And then I'm giving myself probably half the mushrooms. Clayton, my son, won't eat mushrooms on his, but me and Jacob do. And so mushrooms getting spread everywhere, and then I'm gonna top this off with bacon. You could serve this with any side you want to. Anything would be easy. This is delicious. You can do it as a makeover or just enjoy it as a fresh meal. Oh yeah, I'm doing green beans. I think I did rice too in a bag for my son, just to kind of, and my husband. Neither of them are on the keto diet with me. But this turned out so good, and like I said, the best part is if you do it as like a revive the leftover, and so it works out very, very well. I'm always looking for toppings to revive the leftovers. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know down in the comments if you give it a try or do some other iteration of it. I'd love to hear from you. And there it is. Oh, and there I am. All right, up next, tomato caprese salad. This is my favorite salad. They serve these almost always at an Italian restaurant, but you can get them at a lot of other places too. So I get these mozzarella balls. They're smaller than golf balls. They're pretty small. And then we use cherry tomatoes, balsamic vinegar, olive oil, salt, and pepper. Now you could change up the oil. You could change up get a flavor of salt. You could use different vinegar. You could use apple cider, whatever you want. The traditional is balsamic vinegar. And you can see me here. I'm just cutting these balls in half. Jacob and I each got about 4. This is super simple because you can get these right into the bowl. You don't have to mess up a bunch of dishes. And then as far as the tomatoes, I got a cup of cherry tomatoes, and we each got a 1/2 cup, and I'll slice those in half too. It's just good to get the tomatoes and the mozzarella balls open so that they will let the balsamic vinegar and oil soak into them. Now, the one thing I don't do on my caprese that should be on a traditional caprese is basil leaves. You take basil leaves, you kind of roll it, and you cut them into really thin shreds, and then they get put on top. And I'm just not a big basil fan. Jacob is. I just don't get it very often. And so know that that's one thing I didn't do here that you totally could do here that would jazz it up. It would change the flavor, and it would look really pretty because it's dark green. I'm adding this pink Himalayan sea salt. Jacob got me that cute little container from Target about 1.5 weeks ago because I was like, ew, I'm not bougie enough on my videos. He was like, salt container, Tom. Just kidding. Okay, and then my pepper. I love cracked ground pepper. And so I'm just sprinkling a little bit on that. You could have used garlic salt or any other flavored salt that you want. This is just my standard olive oil. Again, avocado oil, any other oils that you like. This is a balsamic vinegar that I love tremendously. It's from here locally, so we buy it at the farmer's market on Saturdays. It's a little sweet, it's super good. You don't need much. This is like half a teaspoon of each, and voila, this is it. I hope you absolutely love this. It's our favorite. Okay, awesome. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, if you make it, I would love to hear back from you. Just let me know that you made it, or if you have another restaurant dish that you've remade to fit your keto lifestyle, please share. Don't be greedy. Leave some information in the comments for all of us to know about. I'm no expert at all. We're all just here to learn and try to live the best, healthiest lifestyle we possibly can. So just drop that down in the comments for us. Help us learn from your wisdom too. Hey, if you like what I'm up to, if you want to just hit that subscribe button, that would be awesome. Come join the fam with me. And if you want to hit that notification bell, that'll just let you know when we upload new video, new content, new information. Also, in the show notes, I have a link to my Ketone-tastic Facebook group. There's 100+ of us over there that share recipes and do challenges and just support one another and drop funnies every once in a while, because you know you need some funny in your life. So come join us. I would absolutely love that. But try this recipe or some of the recipes on this channel and just let me know what you think. I sure do hope this adds value, and if it's adding value to your life, feel free to give it a thumbs up or to share it with someone that you know would love to try this out too, that might be on a ketogenic journey as well. But for now, I hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. See you later.